remains viable. I mean, it's part of auditing the government is to making sure those controls are in place to give some assurance that the accuracy and the reports that are generated by the office are correct. So.
Thank you. That would be the questions that we asked. So now I'm going to open it up to the floor to any questions from the audience. Pete?
I'm just curious to know what is the county's current debt load and how your office might operate in order to restructure debt that's more favorable to taxpayers.
Do you want to keep alternating the way we were, or do you want to flip a coin?
Well, I can just say for that, I am not under the impression that we have any current debt. As it's been a controversy in the papers, I'm sure you've read, the 25 million. That is, and I kind of want to express to you on the 25 million, Pete. That is, we are custodial for many, many taxing districts. And when they use the county's tax ID number, that needs to be ran through the county's financials. Previously, that was not being done. And so the auditors we worked with the auditors to get all of those put onto our general ledger. So the county right now has about 9.3 million in reserves. And like 3.4 of that is the sale of Prairie View. And the rest of it would be not what you would say as reserves. The rest of it is definitely, you know, as this year I accommodated the taxpayers on early payment of property taxes. So right now there's about 800,000 in there that actually belongs to the taxing districts. And it just goes for, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. We're holding money on for windmills and all that kind of thing. So, I mean, right now it's about 9.3 million. So I hope I answered your question.
Well, you say the 9.3 million is the assets?
No, the 9.3 million is what we would have, it'd be in reserve. So it would be the 3.4 and like the 6 point that is in our county general.
Does Joe have a comment?
Yeah, I'm not really aware, I have not seen the most recent financial statements to know about any debt in the county. Getting back to the reserve part, when a fund is actually reserved, it means that it's restricted for use and can only be used for specific purposes and not for just the general operations of the county. A good example is motor fuel tax. The county holds motor fuel tax money for the various taxing districts and distributes that when a voucher has been given to the county treasurer for reimbursement based on expenses. So even though it looks like there might be a lot of money in there, it's important to know that those are reserved and can only be used for specific purposes. And there's, like Courtney said, there's 78 different accounts, so.
Another question?
Stephanie, good morning. Yes, I'd like to address Joe. With your private practice, should you be favorable and elected, what would you do with your practice?
As I said, James Spelling from LaSalle County, he's treasurer. He maintains a investment, firm on the side too. I plan on, if elected, devoting full-time attention to the Birkey County Treasurer's Office. I can carry on a part-time profession, over weekends and nights. I anticipate I can hire some more staff to help with those needs with my tax practice. I have scaled back in my auditing practice at this point, so I'm geared up to be able to enter into the treasurer's office, knowing that it's a full-time position. There has been a lot of misconception about the fact that I will maintain my tax practice. I mean, it's America. We can do anything we'd like to if we're willing to work hard and go for it.
Thank you. Stephanie, one more short question.
Sure.
Should there be term limits for that position?
Term limits is a
4 years.
hotbed issue in any political realm. I think we all think that term limits are effective to keep our career politicians. In the treasurer's office, if the job is being done correctly, there's probably no reason to set term limits on it. It's an elected position every 4 years, so if the taxpayers feel that it's not being done properly, they can elect a new treasurer.
Courtney, any thoughts on term limits?
No, I have no comment for that.
You're a very quiet group. This is the seventh inning stretch. Thoughts? Jim?
I just have to ask Joe why you would leave a practice of 30 years to get into public service. It seems odd. You must have a passion of some sort or what?
Well, I have a passion to serve the Birkey County taxpayers when I see a need. At my time in life, I've decided to maybe refocus on my career goals would be an interesting challenge to help the taxpayers and make the office of the Birkey County Treasurer run more efficiently. And I just support Birkey County, and I would like to maybe, just like I said, refocus my career goals to accommodate, my passion for numbers.
If you want to take on more work, you're going to keep your practice as well as be the treasurer. That's what confuses me a little bit.
Well, I'm gearing back my practice. I'm in the tax return realm of my practice is, typically January through April 15th. And like I said, I'm willing to work weekends, and I can hire staff that will just need to be supervised to perform the job that I would have. But I still would be devoted full-time to the treasurer's office. If the office is run efficiently, the staff is trained properly in the treasurer's office, the supervisory capacity of the treasurer, along with being there on a daily, 8 to 7 basis, or 8 to 4 basis is key.
Okay, and I'm gonna go, so Courtney, what makes you want to sit here and continue in public politics? What is it about the office that makes you run?
Oh, like I've stated prior, I have worked for the Birkey County for 14 years, and I really truly like it. I like the challenge that it gives. I like the opportunity that it's given me. The taxpayers, getting to know them is very, very humble. I saw the drive to enhance where it needed to be done, and I felt like it was a very beneficial to everyone in the county. And, touch a little bit on where Joe goes, there is just no way that we could function with 2 people in that office. There has to be 3 full-time employees there at all times. It just needs to be. It's a challenge to even get through lunches at times. There's been times both my staff members have called in sick, and I have had to run the department all by myself. But again, it's just, I don't know, I just like the work, I like the numbers, I like the challenge it has given me, so.
I actually have a question. Before you were approached by the old treasurer, were you aware of any problems that were going on in the treasurer office? I guess let me elaborate a little bit more. You were approached to run for this position. You did not see that there was a problem and decided yourself that you actively wanted to pursue as being elected as the county treasurer. So what made you decide to run after you were approached by the old treasurer?
Well, I think that's partly true what you say. I was aware of several problems in the county treasurer's office. I have a broad spectrum of people that I talk to on a daily basis, and they, over the years, I have been aware of some issues that have been going on in the treasurer's office that should be corrected. And, as I said, Nina approached me. I felt the need to step forward and take on the challenge of battling issues within the county treasurer's office to make it run more efficiently.
Can you elaborate on these claims that you're making, of what evidence you have for these allegations that the office is not being run efficiently? Have you been in to talk with the current treasurer about bank statements not being currently reconciled? Have you been to the county board meetings to see that they're not getting the current information? Do you have claims from former employees that things were not being handled in the office?
Oh, I've definitely talked to several of the past employees, and they were very explicit in their responses, and were very open about things that were going on in the treasurer's office that were a little bit kind of reproach on some of them. I
So
just,
it's just kind of hearsay?
No, not when it's from a former employee.
Courtney, so then my question to you is, do you have any grievances that have been claimed in your office, filed in your office? Any employees that have come to you? I do believe at the last forum that we had for the Republican Tea Party, you had stated there had been a lapse in employee benefits. Are you aware of any employees having lapse in benefits?
No.
Or any grievances that have been filed in your office at all?
I mean, I have a letter from Heartland Benefits where they're having some issues as far as we have two separate AFLAC policies with them, and there's like a bill paying service, and there was some kind of a lapse between the bill paying service and the actual AFLAC company. But he sent out all letters to all the employees who took that coverage that this was nothing to do with error of the county treasurer's office.
Okay. So there have been no formal complaints about things being mishandled in the treasurer's
No.
office?
Mm-mm.
And the evidence that you have to support these claims are hearsay? Yes? No?
Not necessarily all hearsay. When a former employee works in the office and knows the operations of the office, I've also heard from other people that have been in the office and they have not been treated properly. Just customer service has been.
Again, we don't have actual evidence, you don't have statements from these people.
I
so-
didn't think it was necessary to get a written side statement by people that are telling me these stories. I believe them. They're honest taxpayers. They would not purposely say something that's derogatory and not have any reason not to say them.
Thank you.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm gonna interject here, and one of those things that no business is foolproof, and an elected position is certainly not an easy one, and I admire everyone that stands up front here and is willing to stand up for themselves and do this procedure. So we appreciate the questions, appreciate the answers, and, there.
I'd like to say something,
Sure,
Stephanie.
sure.
I've worked with the last 3 sitting treasurers. For the last 25 years, I've been with the county, and I have enjoyed all the treasurers that I've worked with. And right now, I'm really enjoying working with Courtney because she's very dedicated. She knows her stuff. She's gonna get out there and dig right in and do whatever it takes to get the job done. And that's why I'm voting for Courtney, and I hope you all will vote with me.
I was going to say, and someone who would like to see Joe in the office will give equal time to. With the experience, everyone comes into it with different experiences, different ideas, different strengths. And in a small community, we all know each other. And this is it, and it makes it a difficult position because it's not Joe against Courtney. It's, Joe saying, well, I'd like to see this done. Courtney saying, I would like to see this done. And it's, a lot of the other stuff is it's small town discussion. But we look at what they have to offer, what they want to do, where they are, what's going on, and we make that decision. So, thank you. Thank you for saying that. And we'll go through questions, other comments.
Stephanie, I'd like to thank you for putting this on. Job well done.
We really appreciate everyone coming. I know Courtney and Joe, I'm sure will be around for a few minutes if you'd like to speak to them personally. Voices is very pleased and proud to present these programs. We appreciate the library letting us hold them here. And thank you very much for coming. Go vote on March 20th. Thank you.